You got Bob Lawrence up there,
Okay, everyone, welcome to our May 10th Kiwanis Club meeting. We're going to begin with an invocation, so if everyone will stand, I'll provide that, and then we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for your great love and blessing over our lives. We ask for your guidance so that we may walk fully in your blessing and goodness today. Establish the work of our hands and to bring fulfillment to all that you have given us to do today. We pray that you would make our way purposeful and our steps firm out of your goodness and love. Give us a heart of wisdom to hear your voice and to make us strong by your huge favor and grace. Bless the food that we eat into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service. Amen. Okay, and now we will do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we do have a few guests that we want to welcome. Derek, do you want to read the introduction of your guests with us again today?
I do. My guest is in the back here. Please stand. This is Dr. Tuyll Owens. I'm sure many of you remember him from his days at First Baptist Church here. He now lives in Asheville, North Carolina, and it's great to have him here.
Okay, now this is actually our official annual meeting, which means we need to vote on our new slate of officers. So at our previous two meetings, we have announced the slate and it's been published in Kiwanis. But just to remind you, the nomination slate includes John Robertson to be the next Vice President. New board members are Robbie Moore, Rodney Kitchen, Jonathan Vincent, Larry Knox, and Larry Hugh. And then Nate Rose was nominated to be on the Scholarship Trust Committee when Pat Chance rotates off of that. So I need to know if there are any nominations from the floor. Seeing none, is there any discussion on the nominees? Okay, is there a motion to accept the slate? Someone move to accept the slate. Jeff Aslan has moved to accept the slate. Am I getting a second? And we have several seconds. So all those in favor? Yay. Okay, congratulations or condolences. Okay, now, Will, maybe you have an announcement. If you want to come up here, it helps so that the people watching.
You know, every year the charitable trust committee begs for money. Sometimes you have to wonder where all that money goes. Well, this year, one of the places it went was to the AP Academy at Westside High School. Westside High School is 90% African American, but they have cut out an AP program. And one of the things we discovered was that colleges, and for those of you who have children in college, will know this, have done all of the things to change the way tuition is paid. The scholarship pays for tuition, but you have fees, you have dues, you have other things that come up. They've done the same thing with college applications. For example, Duke University, the application is only $25. There's a $100 processing fee. So a lot of the poorer students couldn't afford to apply to what are called Tier 1 schools, or out-of-state schools. And the money that the charitable trust committee donated to Westside to the AT Academy is set aside specifically to enable students to have one out-of-state Tier 1 application. And I have several thank you letters from students here, and I'll be around a little bit after the meeting if you'd like to read them or talk with me about it. But that's where some of your money went.
Thank you so much, Gail. You guys remember we gave out 5 awards of $1,200. That was one of the charities, our nonprofits that those awards went to. And we'll also be giving our $5,000 donation to Children's Hospital of Georgia at our June 7th meeting. Okay, I do want to just, before we have our history moment, I'm excited we have some faces here today that we haven't seen in a long time that are back for the first time. So welcome. I, monitor the RSVP link and I always get excited about my own party. And I'm very excited when I see someone, yeah, they're going to come. So like when Bennett signed up, so he's been joining us virtually. This is one of his first times back in person. And I was like, yay, so let's go back. And we have some new people online too. So just kind of want to welcome everyone and we're working through this, and so I'm really happy to see everyone. And if you're online, I have written your names down for the attendance drawing. So we'll get there in just a minute. So for our history lesson today, yesterday was Mother's Day. So it seems to be our history lesson on the origins of Mother's Day in the United States. In the years before the Civil War, Anne Reed Jarvis of West Virginia helped to start a Mother's Day work club to teach local women how to properly care for their children. These clubs later became a unifying force in the region of the country still divided over the Civil War. In 1868, Jarvis organized Mother's Friendship Day, at which mothers gathered with the former Union and Confederate soldiers to promote reconciliation. The official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s as a result of the effort of Anna Jarvis, the daughter of Anne Reed Jarvis. Following her mother's 1905 death, she conceived of Mother's Day as a way of honoring the sacrifices mothers made for their children. After gaining financial backing from the Philadelphia department store, on May 10, 1908, she organized the first official Mother's Day celebration at a Methodist church in Grafton, West Virginia. The same day also saw thousands of people attend a Mother's Day event at one of Wanamaker's retail stores in Philadelphia. Following the success of her first Mother's Day, Jarvis, who remained unmarried and childless her whole life, resolved to see her holiday added to the national calendar. Arguing that American holidays are biased towards male achievements, she started a massive letter-writing campaign to newspapers and prominent politicians urging the adoption of a special day honoring motherhood. By 1912, many states, towns, and churches had adopted Mother's Day as an annual holiday, and Jarvis had established the Mother's Day International Association to help promote her cause. Her persistence paid off in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed the measure officially establishing the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. But this is where it turns interesting. Once Mother's Day became a national holiday, it was not long before the florists, card companies, and other merchants capitalized on its popularity. While Jarvis had initially worked with the floral industry to help raise Mother's Day profile, by 1920, she had become disgusted with how the holiday had been commercialized. She outwardly denounced the transformation and urged people to stop buying Mother's Day flowers, cards, and candies. She eventually resorted to an open campaign against Mother's Day profiteers, speaking out against confectioners, florists, and even charities. By the time of her death in 1948, she had disowned the holiday altogether and actively lobbied the government to remove it from the American calendar. So now you know, as Mr. Harvey would say, the rest of the story. And if you unfortunately forgot Mother's Day yesterday, you can just claim that you are honoring the wishes of Mrs. Jarvis. Okay, as a reminder, we're asking volunteers to provide an attendance pass since we're not sure who's coming each week. Instead of just assigning it to someone, we are asking for a gift card so that we can include our people who are joining us online as well, so that we can mail that out, if they win. And this week, we want to thank Eric May, who has provided a gift card to White Horse, $15 gift card. You can pick up a 6-pack or a bottle of wine with that if you win. And I'm going to ask our speaker if they will choose one of our slips here. This person actually really deserves this because they work really hard for the club all the time. Pat Tan.
Thank you. Thank you for Derek.
Derek's over there. Okay, and now we will have our president-elect, Troy Linger, introduce our speaker.
Our speaker today is Joe Edge. A lot of you know Joe. Joe is a native of Augusta. He was born and raised here. He lives in Columbia County with his wife of 18 years and his 5 children. Joe previously served in the U.S. Marine Corps, and after that, he started his career in real estate. In 2006, he started his own firm, and later that year acquired Sherman and Hemstreet. And he has a very robust commercial real estate practice. He also is involved in managing properties. He has over 7,000 units under management and 10 million square feet of rentable space under management. But that is not why he's here today. He's here to talk to us about the Augusta Press. And if you haven't checked out the Augusta Press, you should. It's an excellent new news source for all of us in Augusta and the Augusta area. He's joined by Debbie Van Tuyll, and she is the founding editor of the Augusta Press. And we also have Scott Hudson here. He's the investigative reporter. He's also joining us here. And please give a warm, honest welcome to Joe and his friends. All right. Let me get this going here. We actually should put a PowerPoint together. I had to remember how to do this from college, so it's been quite a while. Does the sound come through this?
Yes.
Okay. And you want me to share this with?
Yes.
Well, will the sound come through?
That's all right if it doesn't.
I got to adjust for mine.
Not too loud.
Yeah, it should.
That's okay. There we go. All right. Now we're cooking now. I was impressed with myself. I put a video in there on the first slide, but you know, can't hear it. It's kind of pointless. So I'm going to make a brief introduction and we'll let Debbie talk some. Thank you. Yes, I've been in real estate for 16 years now. And if you told me when I was in school that I was going to end up in real estate, I would have told you you were crazy. I was actually a musician. Trade, so I realized that you couldn't make a living being a musician. Anyways, ended up in real estate, and then if you'd told me I ended up in the newspaper business capacity, I again would have told you you were crazy. And it's interesting how this all came about, how we ended up filling a need that exists in the community. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but first I'm going to let Debbie come in. She'll talk to you a little bit about, why there is such a need for local news. And I'll just read here real quickly our purpose. We kind of have a slogan. We have 2 slogans that we have, but this is my favorite, is that we afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. And we've done some of that certainly already. If y'all are subscribers, then you know what I mean. So Debbie, why don't you come up and get us started?
So interestingly,
My background is journalism. I started life as a young reporter down in South Alabama. Some of you all may have been to Gulf Shores, and the newspaper that I started out working for is just up the road from Gulf Shores, a few miles. And it's kind of nice at the end of my career, because I'm retiring from Augusta University at the end of this semester. So it's kind of nice to come back to where I started and taking on a second career in a sense with the newspaper. But it's really my work as an academic journalist, and specifically as a journalism historian, that convinced me that we, not just we, but every community needs a multiplicity of voices in order to have a community where the democracy is robust, where government is honest, or at least as honest as you can get government to be, and where citizens know what's going on and how their money is being spent. And it seems to me as, of course, I'm not the only one, but as we've moved through the 20th century into the 21st century, we've seen more and more voices declining in communities. Part of that has to do with changes in the way the FCC regulates ownership of broadcast media, but it also has to do with the changing dynamics in the print industry and the rise of the internet. So for a variety of reasons, we have fewer voices in communities today, and I don't think that communities get served as well when they have fewer voices. So that being my philosophical starting point, when Scott called me not much later than this last year, right in the height of the COVID pandemic, and said, hey, let's start a newspaper. Okay. Not really sure that we would bring it to fruition, but it's something he and I have kind of chewed on for a few years now. Not because we don't think the media in Augusta was already doing a good job. It's just that you can always do with more people digging out stories, reporting on government, and helping to build a stronger democracy. And so as we talked about what we might want to do with this paper, I went back to some of my work as a journalism historian and pulled out some sort of guiding principles from previous journalists, such as the one that Joe read, and that is the purpose of journalism is to afflict the comfortable and to comfort the afflicted. We also went back to Adolph Ox. I don't know if that's a name you all know, but he was a Chattanooga journalist who owned the Chattanooga Times, and in 1898 had the opportunity to buy a failing New York newspaper, the New York Times, and implemented a new model of journalism there, what he called the public service model. In 1898, as you may know, if you're a history buff, that was the heyday of the yellow journalism, the sensationalist press. And Adolph Ox created with the New York Times an antidote, in a sense, to yellow journalism. His public service model was a model of quietly going about your business as a journalist and digging out the stories, telling the truth, and putting the truth before the public. And readers flocked to that. They really had sensationalism overload. They had enough of having 15-deck headlines screaming at them about wars that really weren't being started and that sort of thing. And so Ox kind of laid the pathway for 20th century journalism until the rise of the internet, and then things kind of fall apart and we have to start rebuilding them again. But being an aficionado of Adolph Ox, he was an inspiration to what we were trying to do. And as we worked on building our ideas, putting our ideas for this newspaper together, we looked to some of Adolph Ox's guiding words, and one of his slogans for his newspaper, this is in Chattanooga before he went to New York, but I think he took the idea with him, and that is that you publish without fear or favor. And it goes on to what you probably do know of what he said, and that is, and you print all the news that's fit to print, which is still the slogan of the New York Times today. Well, clearly, Ox laid some good foundations of the New York Times. They are about to hit, or in fact have just hit 7.8 million subscribers, on the way to have 10 million subscribers by the end of 2025. Most of the subscribers are online, and that was another inspiration that we kind of took from at least Ox's legacy. Of course, he's long dead now, but at any rate, Washington Post and the New York Times are both doing extremely well in the digital world. And I looked at that and thought, we really might be able to start a newspaper if we did it digitally. And the technology was there that would make it fairly easy to do a daily newspaper online. And so it was all of those kinds of inspirations. The idea of having a voice in the community to serve Augusta. I was telling Troy earlier, and as a journalism historian, specifically of the Civil War era, I had looked at Augusta journalism for a long time, and I mean that in terms of longitudinal a long time. I've also looked at it a long time as a career. But in 1860, as we were facing the beginning of the Civil War, Augusta had 4 daily newspapers and a population of 12,000. So that's a pretty decent ratio to have to be able to support 4 daily newspapers. The Chronicle was one of them. There was another one called the Constitutionalist. There was one called the True Democrat. And I think the fourth one was the Dispatch. It's something that there are many copies remaining of, so it's not one I think about real often, but there are some copies at the AU library. Anyway, so we started ideas of Augusta can support more than one voice, more than one print voice. Clearly, we've got broadcasting, but I was looking at what's traditionally considered the print industry. We've got A.L. Fox as an inspiration, and we've got the talents of Scott Hudson, who many of you all know from his years at the radio station WGAC. We've got my background as a print journalist, and then also having taught journalism for actually 35 years, because I taught somewhere else before I came to Augusta. We've got Joe, who's kind of our steady hand on the ship or on the helm, I guess is what I want to say. And then we've got Connie who's saying, do not spend money. She can't be here today because her daughter's having surgery, but she's our chief financial officer. And I really think we kind of by accident put together a really, really good team that works very well together. And I think we'll be able to continue to produce a valuable voice for the city of Augusta. So that's a little bit about how we thought about creating this newspaper, and I think Joe's going to talk next.
That's a little bit about where we came from. I'll just talk a little bit about where we envision this going. So I took a little snippet here of some staff. There's obviously a good bit more writers that we have, but Scott's over here. You mentioned that. We have Sylvia Cooper, Austin Rhodes, and Michael Myers all write columns for us. We have a features editor, Sherman Brackett, Tyler Strong writes business, AD does sports, and Gregory Goff from Jericho Report helps us with stuff like that as well. So we've kind of tried to assemble a team of seasoned professionals that cover all facets of news coverage. I'm going to be quick because we would rather answer questions than talk. But since we've launched, tomorrow will be the 4-month mark. We had just over 1,400 stories. You can see the breakdown there. 500 of those as features, or 800 news stories, 170 opinion stories. And one of the things that Debbie didn't mention that I think is very important, we all have our bias. New York Times has its bias, Chronicle has its bias. We all have our biases. But one of the objectives that we have is to separate that. Your news is news, and opinion is opinion. And it is incredibly difficult to do that. I'm one of the most opinionated people you'll ever meet. But to separate all of that opinion out from the news stories is an incredibly difficult thing to do. And you can see that the opinion side of what we actually produce is a smaller component of it. With 18 editorials out of 1,400 stories. So editorials are basically, it's me, Debbie, Scott, and Connie, what we as a board agree to as far as a position goes. We're not trying to influence, use our opinion to influence community thought so much there. Sports, real estate, I do write the real estate stuff. You see the 19 there, so I'm definitely behind the curve, I guess. In the future, where are we going? I believe that we have created a sustainable model, which was from the get-go the most challenging aspect of this. Derek can tell you that I sat down with Derek a few years ago with a similar idea, and more on the business news focused than all aspects of news. And, for a couple of years now, I haven't been able to figure out how to make it work financially. And this model came about from several heads being put together, and it's really, we could write a book on this one day, Dave, how all this kind of came together, and we put this together. And I do think that the model is something that is sustainable for the future. I mean, we already hit the point where we thought we would be at the end of the year. We looked at tons of different models. There's a new model down in Savannah, which is experienced in some of the things that Augusta is, and they've got a nonprofit news organization down there. We didn't think that would work necessarily in this market, but as the internet is really changing everything, if we're going to actually have local news, then there has to be a way to make it financially support itself. And I believe that the combination of subscriptions, advertising, all that goes into that, I think that all of that combined makes it, sustainable. We're not going to get wealthy doing this, but it certainly is a sustainable model that can go on forever and ever. And I think that I know for a fact that there are other communities that are watching what we're doing to see if this works as something that they can implement in their town as well. Goals for the future, hold government accountable. That's something we've talked about. I can tell you, I'm a real estate guy. We're through sales first, right? And I have learned the last 4 months a lot about government. And holding government accountable is extremely important. I never realized just how bad it really was until you really started digging in and looking at the details. Economic development, business growth, business news is very important to us. Shine a light on positive things. Not all news has to be negative. We have a story coming out tomorrow about Forces United. It's a very positive thing. So we want to promote these local things also. News literacy. I thought you were going to talk about that. That's something that he's passionate about. Understanding kind of what I was saying, the difference in opinion and news. And it's hard because almost every national news thing that you look at is very, very opinionated based and not really news. And then educating the next generation. I don't think that my generation fully understands everything that I just said about the opinion versus news. We need to do a better job of educating that future generation of why news is important and how to understand what news is, especially when there's 5,000 different sources out there. So Augusta Press, we are a daily, every morning at 4 a.m., you'll get a newspaper in your email box, basically, with all the stories for the day. It's $5 a month. First, we give everybody 30 days free to try it. You cancel it at any time. It's really easy to subscribe. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your computer. Took a screen grab here from yesterday. You can see that. You just click up there where it says subscribe. Right there. You can pull out your phones and do this now if you want. And then you can pick one. We've got a monthly option and we've got an annual option, which discounts it a little bit more. In a nutshell, that's it. We're excited about it. We're honored to be here with you today. Thank you for lunch. We'll be happy to answer any questions. He asked what about obituaries. Yes, we have finished from day one. We've been asked about obituaries, just because they're incredibly expensive in print. Obituaries are something we anticipated that we would launch later this year, but because of the demand, we just finished all of the framework set up for that. I've met with all the funeral homes already. That is something that we'll be launching in the next day or two, actually. But it is on there. And we're going to be about half as expensive. Yes, sir. Yes, so the question, she asked me to repeat the question. The question was, can we submit an article? Yes. We've had a lot of folks submit letters to the editor, or send us an idea if there's something particular you want us to cover. I can tell you we've had firefighters reaching out left and right wanting us to address certain things. If you're a subscriber already, you understand that. But yes, you're welcome. We do welcome letters to the editor. We do have comments on the site. That was one of the things that we got a lot of questions about. Because I understand the Chronicle took comments off a few years ago. And I understand why, because if you open comments up, somebody's got to monitor it. And you've got to read all the crazies and what they've got to say to make sure they're not saying something that you don't want on your page. So we've had thousands of comments already on the site that we've had to monitor, but yes. Yes, sir.
So I subscribe on the emails that I get every day, stories. Is that every story that, oh, do I subscribe to your email? Do I get every story, or do I need to go to the website? And are there more that aren't in my field?
Good question. 90% of the time, all of the stories for that day are going to be in the newsletter. There are rare occasions where we have so many stories that day that we don't bog the newsletter down. The model for the newsletter kind of came from the Wall Street Journal, if anybody subscribes to that. You get the top 10. These are the top 10 stories for the day. And then that's kind of how we modeled it after, but like this morning, I think there were 12. We got up to the point where it was 15 and 16 a day, and we kind of throttled it back. Because we can actually see where in the newsletter people are clicking, and by the time you get to the bottom, people's kind of, you got 20 stories in a newsletter, people aren't getting to the bottom of it. Because when you go to the newsletter in the morning, your newspaper, it takes you to the website, to read the full story. We can't put the full story in the e-newsletter. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's something that we don't disclose. I could. For us to be financially sustainable, model to be financially sustainable, it's a couple thousand. We're past that point. But we don't want to give specifics out. Yes, sir.
Purpose was to educate the next generation. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. The question was how are we going to help to educate the next generation? One, we are doing scholarships with AU. We're going to be issuing scholarships. Interns. We have used interns at college. That's been a big piece of it, trying to bring them along to to learn. Debbie would be better answer that question. She's the educator. But yeah, I think a lot of it is about our stories. We try to promote certain educational aspects, educating the public. It's not just the public. Hopefully, if you educate the adults, they're going to educate the children. I got a newsflash. The public school system is not designed to teach your children. They're to augment you teaching your children. My opinion. Opinion, not news. But we homeschool, so I'm biased, right? Just educating your children. How we go about doing that is a discussion that's ongoing, but we want to educate the general public on this is how you understand a news story versus an opinion story. These are the facts. This is what Sylvia thinks about the facts, or what Michael thinks about the facts. And I think if you can drill down and understand that, you get a much clearer picture of what's happening instead of just, bobbing heads opinions. Yes, sir.
You are a good example of a good program we're having today at our city club. Do you all intend to publicize programs at other city clubs or our city club?
Yes, and we've covered several already. We do help the chamber here and there with covering some of their things, different Rotary events. I think it's the first Kiwanis been to. But yes, and then event calendar, in addition to obituary, one of the big questions is what about events? I guess the Metro Spirit had a great events calendar on their site at one point, and that's something that we can't do everything day one, but it's something that we are working on. Technology side of doing that and maintaining it is intense, actually. But for example, listing your meetings on the event calendar and things like we could certainly do once it's going through. Sure.
Publishes the approach of each month. It lists 10 events that we we should be aware of. Now, if you have not linked up with them, that might be a good,
Yeah, we've done some of that.
Yeah, and we've done some of that, where we would
this
issue,
week,
this week, this is the event that's happening.
And it's not ideal, really.
It's not ideal really for us to do it that way. We really need a calendar, just because
It's
again,
intensive to maintain.
it's intensive to maintain and set that up. Certainly, we'll look into that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's for the family membership.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
We do. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Is it a family membership kind of setup?
We try to
look at it like a newspaper.
Typically, the household
gets one
newspaper,
newspaper,
and they share it.
and they share it.
So
So
we have not
implemented rules as far as sharing it amongst family.
We can tell.
We can tell if that's happening.
I know, for example,
Columbia County, we gave them a membership to their
They
ministry.
share it amongst.
And they share it amongst the commissioners and such.
We know that, and that's
And we
fine.
know that, and that's fine.
If it was
If it was being abused, we might look at it differently.
We have no issue.
We have no issue
somebody sharing
with somebody sharing it with
We don't want you
their
sending it-
kids. We don't want you sending it to 50 different people.
And again, we
You know,
can
and
tell.
again, we can tell how many, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just want to comment that y'all jumping in with the media, on our city about 5 people. Let's see y'all later included in that.
So
He mentioned the fire chief, whatever you want to call it.
And I would say that I wouldn't
necessarily call it going after him.
I know we would not be allowed to
write it that way, right?
Our
Our
job,
job,
as
as we see it, is to report the facts on that. And I'll tell you,
that was a
very
very
educational thing for me. Because
Me,
me,
I know
Augusta's had challenges with fire chiefs historically.
I
I guess I've never really thought about it too much, Again, I live in Columbia County, so I don't, the phone rings and I guess they go put out the fire. What does the fire chief have to do with it so much? But I think our interest in this is more about the First Amendment, or rather the Open Records Act. We filed a request, the other one was going on. We filed a request to get information on the candidates that were being interviewed for fire chief position. State law allows us to get that information within 3 days, very clear. Chronicle requested it, and I believe WJDF also requested it. And they basically said, no. The city said, no, we're not going to give you any of this information. So the real estate side of me kicked in and got upset and called a lawyer. Congratulations.
No, we called a lawyer, right?
And so and he said, yes, they cannot do that. And
I don't know that this has happened in a long time, but the media banded together. I was able to pick the phone up and call the Augusta Chronicle, pick the phone up, call WRDW, WJBF, and we were able to put a team together. And all 4 of us were able to file and get an injunction against the city to stop them from basically ignoring the records request. So it's, I feel like we've done our job there, and we've presented what we have found, and we'll keep looking as they provide us with information, and we'll keep presenting it to you without opinion or say opinion on it. So, yes.
I have multiple devices. Is it gonna be live?
Yeah, yes, about multiple devices. So it should work fine. It'll have a, show you on here, but it'll have a remember me button. So you go to log in, you type your username and your password, you hit remember me. You should, unless you are using a private browser or, I don't know, you shut your computer off or something like that, it should remember you. Then you go to your phone, you do the same thing. You can be logged into multiple ones at the same time. It shouldn't. Yeah, we've had a few people have challenges with that. We do have a live person that's in the office, can answer questions across the whole day. And that's usually the problem is they're doing it in incognito or private mode or something like that. But yeah, it should keep you logged in. Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to applaud you for what you're trying to do. I mean, there's not a lot of examples to look at across the country of models of startups right now in this space. as difficult as that industry has been. Applaud for that, and I can applaud the fact that you got the content first, because you're focusing on the subscription model, but also advertising. So I got two questions. For one, advertising is a part of your model too. Talk about that a little bit for you.
Yeah.
You got to sell ads or.
So you asked about advertising. Yes, advertising is a part of it. Have we been effective at it? No, because we're just so busy, quite honestly. And, we sold few ads. We have not actively went out and tried to get people to buy ads. A couple have approached us and we've sold them ads. And, it's something that we need to work on as far as selling ads, because we need to make money. It helps the model for sure. And, we have writers to pay, but we have not really been actively going out engaging, trying to get, sell ads. One of the things that we really wanted to avoid was you go to the page and you click on it and you got to find the story between 5,000 ads. That drives me crazy. So we don't want to do that. You'll have one ad at the top, two ads on the side, maybe one or two throughout, and that's it. But it's not, I have to watch this 30-second video or something to read a paragraph or something. But yeah, if any of you are interested in purchasing ads, we certainly would love to have a conversation with you.
All right, thank you. The second part of my question was, you talked about, you live in Columbia County, a lot of us do. And Richmond County always gets a disproportionate amount of coverage. It's the center of the city. And you got Aiken County, you got Columbia County. What are your plans to, I know you've done some coverage, I am a subscriber, but most of your coverage is Richmond County. So do you have any plans to cover Columbia County or?
Yes. So as of now, our coverage area is Richmond County, Columbia County, and we are covering North Augusta. We haven't delved too far into Aiken County or Burke County. However, if there's an event or something that occurs that's relevant to the area, then we will look at it, and even on the national side, we have zero interest in covering national politics and issues. That's, if you need that, go to Fox News or CNN. We are a local newspaper. But we also can't cover every single thing locally either. We don't have the staff to do that. Columbia County, yes, we've been covering Columbia County. It's been kind of dry lately. I would admit that. There hasn't been a whole lot to talk about. Richmond County's got I can't say that. It's got to be trained.
Has a lot of interesting stories going on.
A lot of interesting stories going on in Richmond County right now. Thank you.
Wait, I was something from the chat, sorry. Kind of on that, someone from the chat mentioned the American Rescue Plan, how that's not being covered a lot, and the fact that there's like 200 million coming into Richmond County with 84 going to the city and then 117 going to the Board of Education. And so there's kind of suggesting that's an underserved storyline. So sorry, just wanted to make sure we include our virtual participants.
I was saying, with respect to Columbia County, it seems like there's a lot of business growth in Columbia County. And I've noticed less business coverage, so business stories. It's a lot of the keeping the government honest. What's your strategy for business?
Yeah, great question. Business news is something that I am passionate about personally, and it's been a challenge to kind of get that going. I don't know if any of y'all knew Damon Connell, the Chronicle. Damon's a friend, and Damon had a decade of building relationships up, and it's just been kind of slow going to get responses from people in certain things. But I can tell you that the business news side is going to improve. Because that's when I open the news up, that's the first thing that I go to look at. Yeah. Yes, sir. Everything we write is archived on the site. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tammy and Joe, we have a Kiwanis Club cell phone charger to keep you plugged and powered, and thank you for coming today. I want to just re-congratulate our new officers. So John and our soon to be new vice president, and Trey and Larry are here, and John is on the Zoom call, so congratulations on being elected to the board. Want to remind everyone that we're still on our bi-weekly meeting schedule, so our next meeting will be May 24th. It will be here, and our speaker will be James Ross, talking about the Augusta Canal. If you're here in person and you had a nice time visiting and eating and hanging out and returning back to the Kiwanis world, we encourage you to reach out to the people that you used to sit with pre-pandemic and tell them how well things are going, and encouraging them to come with you to the meeting, because we really are looking to go back our attendance, and that will only happen through personal invitation. So we encourage you to do that. I'm going to leave you with a thought for the week. It's not exactly a joke, but I think it's somewhat humorous, but it ties into the topic today, particularly with the press holding the government accountable. It is a quote from former President Thomas Jefferson. "Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter." So everyone, have a good week, take care, and we stand adjourned.